Welcome back to Total F1. We're coming back to you with the race report of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The event concluded successfully last week, handing over one more victory to the Red Bull team, with its 20th victory of the 2023 season. Besides Red Bull, none of the other constructors has recorded 20 victories in a single edition of Formula 1, so we're going to tell you how the race in Las Vegas unfolded in detail. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. As the first free practice session was abandoned, teams got only 2 practice opportunities to tune their cars for optimum performance on this newly built circuit. After making those adjustments, cars entered the circuit on Saturday evening to take part in qualifying. At the start of qualifying, a yellow flag was shown as Tsunoda went deep into turn number 5. However, the track was cleared within a brief time interval, allowing the drivers to go with their full throttle, and Ferrari topped the timesheets very easily. Piastri, who is in good form, appeared to be trapped in the bottom 5 of qualifying. Meanwhile, his teammate Norris was also in the pit, waiting for the performance of others to seal his position in Q1. However, he was observed to push towards the drop zone, as several other drivers showed improvements in their final attempts. In the closing stage of Q1, Stroll improved his lap time from P19 to P11, knocking out Lando Norris. That means both the McLaren drivers had to stop from the first part of qualifying, alongside with Ocon, Zhou and Tsunoda. Meanwhile, Ocon and Verstappen came close to each other and nearly missed a heavy contact which could have ruined the entire race weekend for both drivers. Since the start of Q2, Aston Martin driver Lance Stroll was observed to improve his position in the time chart up to P10. Logan Sargent also delivered a very quick lap and improved his position up to P6, sealing a spot in Q3. Meanwhile, his teammate Alexander Albon also came with a quick lap to improve his position up to P5. But Gasly also came with a quick lap, beating Verstappen in P4. This resulted to push Hamilton into P11 and being eliminated alongside with Perez, Hülkenberg, Stroll and Ricciardo at the end of the second part of qualifying. Gasly was the first to top the timesheets at the start of the final part of qualifying, but he was beaten by Alonso and Sainz in the next 2 successive laps. Then Leclerc stole P1 from his teammate after delivering a quick lap. Verstappen tried to beat 2 Ferraris at the top of the timesheets when there were only 7 minutes left on the clock, but this timing was only good enough for P3, and the top 3 were separated within a gap of 0.08 of a second. There was a tense battle for the pole position, and Leclerc improved his timing further by 0.3 of a second. Even though both Verstappen and Sainz tried hard to beat the monogasque driver, he was faster than anyone. So the starting grid was composed of a Ferrari 1-2 and Verstappen was behind them. Russell and Gasly held the last 2 spots of the top 5 of the starting grid. Behind the top 5, Albon, Sargent, Bottas, Magnussen and Alonso reserved their spots to start the race. However, Sainz had to face a 10-place grid penalty on Sunday, giving a clear advantage to Verstappen. The race on Sunday started under the floodlights as a night race, and there was a close battle between Leclerc and Verstappen for the race lead. The top 2 went off the road at turn 1, but rejoined the track immediately without losing the race lead to George Russell running at 3rd. Meanwhile, Alonso experienced a spin at turn 1 and made contact with the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas, who was running behind him as well. So Perez had no space to avoid these 2 and hit the back of Bottas, damaging his front wing. Sainz also hit the right rear wheel of Hamilton, experiencing a spin which resulted to drop him to the tail of the pack. A virtual safety car was introduced to clear any debris left on the circuit after those collisions. Verstappen improved his position as the race leader, but was under the continuous attack of Leclerc, who was the pole sitter. On lap 3, Lando Norris lost control of his car at turn 12 and hit the barrier, damaging his entire Challenger. A full safety car was introduced until the track was clear to go, and the green flag was shown at the end of lap 7. Hamilton was able to beat Tsunoda for the 11th position on lap 8. On lap 9, Verstappen was offered a 5-second penalty for the incident that happened with Leclerc on the starting lap, forcing him out of the track. At that moment, the Dutchman had a gap of 2 seconds with Leclerc, and he needed to improve that gap for more than 5 seconds to reduce the possible damage from the time penalty. On lap 15, Piastri improved his position up to P7 by beating Sargent, and the American rookie was further beaten by Hamilton as well. Verstappen experienced a drop of pace due to degraded tyres, and Leclerc used that opportunity to retake the race lead with the help of DRS. So the Ferrari driver completed his move by passing the championship leader at turn 14. On lap 17, a slight contact happened between Hamilton and Piastri, and it was sufficient enough to puncture the front left tyre of Piastri. Hamilton also experienced a heavy loss of performance, losing positions one by one to the drivers running behind him. On lap 18, Perez took the second position from Ocon by attacking him with the support of DRS. Then one more contact happened between Verstappen and Russell on lap 25 when the Dutchman tried to make an inside move against a Mercedes driver at turn 12. It appeared to damage Verstappen's right front end plate and Russell's left-hand side. Another safety car session was introduced to clear the debris spread all over the track. Red Bull engineers decided to pit both of their cars with a new set of hard rubber, getting the advantage of the safety car session. A 5-second time penalty was imposed on Russell for causing the collision with Verstappen. The race was then resumed on lap 29, and Leclerc was leading the pack. Perez, Gasly, Piastri and Verstappen held the remaining top 5 positions of the pack. Since the restart, we were able to observe some close battles everywhere in the pack, changing the positions. Sergio Perez, who started the race as 11th, finally stole the race lead on lap 32, making a very brave move against Charles Leclerc, who started the race as pole sitter. The two Alpine teammates, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, started battling each other for the 5th position, and the team orders arrived immediately to hold their positions as they have had a bad history of making collisions. Then on lap 35, Leclerc took a risk and completed an overtake against Perez to retake the race lead. Within less than a period of 1 lap, Verstappen decided to attack his teammate, pushing him further into 3rd spot. Then, in the immediate lap, Verstappen attacked Leclerc with the help of DRS. However, Leclerc was not ready to hand over his position easily to the Red Bull driver, and after a mini battle, Verstappen got the race lead again on lap 37. Despite the damages that had happened to Russell's car during his contact with Verstappen, the Mercedes driver tried to retake some positions by employing the best of his skills. So he attacked Albon on lap 39, who was running in 8th position. Within less than 1 lap, Albon came under the attack of Sainz and Alonso as well, so he lost 2 more positions, dropping him to P11. But it was not the end of his downfall, as he came under further attack from Hamilton as well. Leclerc made an error on lap 43, running wider at turn 12, and it opens the door for Perez to create another Red Bull 1-2. On lap 45, Hamilton completed an overtake against Gasly into 8th position. And Verstappen crossed the line as the winner, recording the 20th victory for Red Bull in the 2023 season. In the closing stages of the race, Leclerc attacked Perez to retake the 2nd spot that he had lost a few laps back, and even though Perez tried to defend, it didn't appear to be successful. Perez tried to attack the Ferrari driver at the last moment, but he was too late for that. Behind those podium finishers, Ocon and Stroll finished the race as 4th and 5th, adding a surprise. Sainz was able to finish the race as 6th, ahead of the 2 Mercedes drivers, Hamilton and Russell. The last 2 positions of the top 10 were occupied by Alonso and Piastri. And in that way, the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix unfolded, delivering a great racing experience to Formula One fans. However, the Las Vegas GP was hit with a lawsuit due to cancelling the first practice session. Only the race in Abu Dhabi is remaining now, and teams will do their best to seal the maximum spot in the championship rankings. That's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula One news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.